O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, the country is limping into the Memorial Day weekend. We are a divided nation. Everybody knows that. We are suspicious of one another. Sometimes we hate each other. And it's just the age we live in. There's nothing anybody can do about it other than control your own behavior, your own conduct. We have a very weak president, and there's no two sides to that story. And people will say, oh, he's not weak. Well, come on. What do you need? We have a controversial challenger, probably the most controversial politician in the history of the United States, Donald Trump. And we have a corrupt media that refuses to report the truth because of ideology and money, the combination. So that's a lot to throw on the barbecue. I don't want to depress anybody going into the weekend. I hope you all have a lot of fun. But I hope you do remember that we are, as a country, taking time off to think about people who were killed, military and civilian, in the pursuit of freedom. I'm a historian. I know what the true story is, and it hurts me to see people ignore history. That's why I wrote the Killing Book series, all 13 of them, because I wanted to give you an entertainment vehicle in the book, but it teach you about the history of the United States and the world, and we've accomplished that. I got to know today we passed 19 million in sales. It's just staggering to me. Just think about that. Anyway, the talking points memo this evening is the current political situation as we enter into Memorial Day weekend 2024. So there's new polling by Doug Schoen. We have him on the program a lot. He's got a research firm, Schoen Cooperman Research. They did a study throughout the month of May. And I like this because it's the whole month. It's not like a quick snapshot. So the study that they conducted indicates that Donald Trump has not been hurt by all the legal proceedings against him and may even benefit. They can't say he's going to benefit because the vote is 4.5 months away. And so we can't calibrate that with any certainty. But the poll says that most Americans have not been swayed one way or the other. You hate Trump, you still hate him. Might hate him a little bit more, but what does it matter? You like him, you still like him, and you might like him a little bit more. Okay? So there are 4 questions I'm going to read you from this poll. The first one is, do you approve or disapprove of the job President Biden's doing? Approve 41, disapprove 57. That's pretty constant now. He does dip into the 30s, Biden, but 57, 41, and it's a big gap. I don't know if any, Jimmy Carter had a gap like that, and Reagan waxed him, okay? Second question, thinking about the charges and indictments against Donald Trump, which best describes your viewpoint. Trump did something wrong, should be prosecuted, 48, nearly half the country. He did something wrong but should not be prosecuted, 13. He did nothing wrong, 26. So that's a 39 number, not sure, 13. So according to this poll, most people believe that Trump did something wrong. Okay, next question. Please indicate if you agree or disagree with the following statement. The indictments against Donald Trump make him a victim of political persecution, and the far-left establishment of the Biden administration is targeting Trump, as they do in third world countries. Agree 49, disagree 40. So that seems to be inconsistent with the first one, but it's really not. So most people believe these prosecutions are politically motivated, which they are. We've gone over that. And the final question, which is closer to your view about the indictments against Donald Trump? Form of political persecution, 40%. Legitimate, 47%. Not sure, 13%. Okay. So I think that the court case in New York has helped Donald Trump. It's given him a forum where he can tell the nation, look, this is bogus. And, independents, people that they don't feel one way or the other about Trump, they're listening to that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Okay, so this summer, and summer's going to fly by, it always does. In July, we have the Republican convention in Milwaukee, 15th to the 18th. Trump will speak the last day, Thursday, July 18th. I am not going to go to the conventions, or I may have somebody there, but they really don't matter unless, unforeseen things happen. But at this point, nobody's going to watch it. It's going to be the lowest rated convention ever. I think Americans will watch Trump and Biden's speeches. President Biden, his convention, August 19 to 22. Thursday, August 22nd, he will speak. We will analyze both speeches, of course. Now, if the vote were held today, Trump would win. I'm pretty confident of that. He would win probably by a fairly significant margin. But, it's Donald Trump. So it's his election to lose, but, if it were me, I would play it a lot more conservative than Donald Trump is playing it. For example, he raises the heritage of Judge Marchand in New York. He was born in Colombia, South America. I don't think you do that. There's no good comes of that. But okay. Election today, Trump wins. Election November, still crazy. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. That's a memo. All right, Trump trial is over. Next Tuesday, the judge is giving everybody off a bunch of days. The closing arguments will be made. And then Wednesday, the judge will read jury deliberations. That means the judge will frame the case. Judge doesn't like Trump. Whatever the judge says, he's going to be hammered. I don't feel sorry for the judge. I certainly should have recused himself. He's a Democrat, and his family are ardent Democrats. He should never have heard this, in my opinion. And then Wednesday, it'll probably go to the jury. And, who knows how long. I think they want to get the deuce out of there, the jury, but who knows. So that's all next week. Today, President Biden met with the president of Kenya in Africa, East Africa. Doesn't really matter to Americans, but you should know that Africa is now being coveted, lots of money flowing in there from China and Russia. Okay, they want A, to sell their products in Africa, and B, to have political power there. So Kenya's a big country. And that's why this is happening at the White House. Vote buying. Joe Biden loves it. Loves to buy votes. Okay, so two things happen you should know about. First is that the Biden administration is going to release 1 million barrels of gasoline from the Federal Reserve, okay, to bring prices down in the Northeast. And so 42 million gallons of gas going to be released in the Federal Reserve to drive those oil prices in the Northeast down, to buy votes, because they're getting worried. Okay, so this is storage sites in Jersey and Maine, the Northeast Gasoline Supply Reserve. Average price of gas, gallon of gas nationwide, $3.61 right now. A year ago, it was $3.54. So it's risen 7 cents in a year. Under Trump, this is an interesting stat. May 25th, 2020, Trump's still president, $1.96. So it went from $1.96 to $3.61 under Biden. Americans aren't using more gas. Supply and demand didn't drive that up. Government regulation did. And nobody understands that. But make it harder to refine oil, to pump for oil, to transport oil, as Biden has done across the board, price is going to go up. Simple man, simple analysis. Okay, then in conjunction with the oil, and remember, the U.S. government has to buy that oil back and put it in reserves. So it releases the oil, but then has to buy oil to refill it. That's taxpayer money. Okay. So Biden announces that 7.7 billion student loans are going to be forgiven. This brings it up to a whopping $167 billion in student loans that President Biden has forgiven. So we have to pay for that. Taxpayers have to pay for that. You just can't forgive it because these loans were taken out with the federal government. See, Biden doesn't have any power to forgive private loans. So you borrow money from Chase, for example, he can't forgive that debt. Supreme Court ruled that way. But if you borrowed money through the federal government, many programs, then he can say you don't have to pay it back. But O'Reilly has to pay it back. You have to pay it back. And he'll add it to the federal debt. Okay? So all this is a shell game. Nothing is free. The cliche is no free lunch. And of course, Biden's doing this to buy votes. The Democrats are champions at that. Chuck Schumer, he's the Senate leader, okay, and the longtime senator from New York. So tomorrow, he's going to introduce another border security bill. Okay. So what do you think he's doing that for? A 5-year-old. I should have booked the 5-year-old to tell me. So the Democrats want to take the open border off the table in November. They want to do away with that issue because they get killed on it. So Schumer's going to put another bill for it. So we're trying to solve it, and the Republicans aren't. Okay. Now, I read the last bill, and I wouldn't have voted for it. It's not going to do anything. Spent more money, a lot more money. But Biden still wants $6 million a day, $7 million a day. Okay, that's right. Yeah, come on. I don't know what this bill says, but not one Republican is going to vote for it. Why? Remember when I analyzed Nancy Pelosi when she was Speaker of the House and how she handled everybody? She basically told all the Congress people on the Democratic side, if you don't vote the way I tell you to vote, we cut off all your money and we primary you. Remember, they run every 2 years. So they constantly, the Congress people who want to get reelected, they need money from the Democratic Party, the DNC. Pelosi goes, you vote against us, not getting any money. And we're going to throw somebody up in your district, try to take your job away. So that's why all the people voted on the Democratic side for everything Nancy Pelosi said. Same thing's going on the Republican side now. Republicans basically said, hey, you vote for Schumer's bill, we're not giving you any money. And we'll primary you. Same thing. So don't expect any Republicans to vote for this. All right, here's what Schumer said. Go.
For years, our Republican colleagues have insisted that the only real-term solution to fixing the southern border was for Congress to pass legislation. We Democrats agree. Congress must act. We need to fix the border and reform immigration to make it fairer and more humane.
So he reads off the paper. One of his staff wrote that. So the obvious question is, well, what do you mean we need to reform immigration? What have you been doing for the last 3.5 years? What took you so long? And now you want to take the issue off the table because you got an election coming up? Even if it's the greatest bill in the world, which it won't be, Republicans aren't going to do that. Would you do it? So, okay, Chuck. And Chuck doesn't give interviews, by the way. You never see him. Ever. Okay, Chuck, if you can explain why you waited for 3.5 years to put forth this bill, then I'll consider it. What's Chuck going to say? Democrats want open borders because they believe that migrants, foreign-born nationals, will be able to vote soon. because if they get into power, they'll pass laws letting anybody in the country vote. They will. Okay, here's what Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said. Go.
Going to a border bill right now is just a gimmick, a way to try to convince the American people that they're concerned about this when they caused it.
Okay, that's true. McConnell's going to retire from his leadership position. Good. But that's true, what he just said. Okay, so not going to pass. Then the Democrats are going to go around, oh, we had a great bill, but the Republicans wouldn't vote for it. You know what the game is. At this point in my life, I just almost ignore that. I have to report it to you and analyze it. But in processing any of this, it is, okay. I'm not real interested in politics per se. Got a letter yesterday from a woman, a concierge member, who said, are you going to cover the RNC and blah, blah, blah? And I wrote her back very politely. And I said, we don't cover what political parties are doing. We don't put on guests. And I never have. Even when I was doing Factor on Fox, I never put on partisans unless the partisan, the person, was involved with something that directly affected you. But when you turn on cable news now, you see these people, and all they're in business to do is to promote their political party. We never do that. That's a waste of your time. Okay, we are fact-based. We are looking for solutions to problems. We don't want to hear political stuff. Sorting through your expense tracking, estimated payments, and all those tax deductions can be overwhelming. It might even lead to a failure to file and failure to pay penalties that pile up on your tax debt. The attorneys at Tax Network USA have been lifesavers for many. Their team has successfully saved clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you're in the hole for $10,000 or starting at a $10 million debt, they are ready to help you. The expert attorneys and tax professionals at Tax Network USA are equipped to secure the best settlement for you and help you resolve all tax cases. So please go to tnusa.com/bill, or you can call 1-800-245-6000. These tax debt relief programs are expected to change, so get to them now. Visit tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Tell them O'Reilly sent you. Let's go to the mail. We got Bill. I'm not going to give Bill's last name. He lives in Missouri. Here's Bill's letter. O'Reilly, the surprise unknown event that you keep talking about between now and the election is here. The Democrats will replace Joe Biden. Wow, Bill. That is a big, big story. Can you send me some documentation? I want to lead with that. Huge. Of course, there is no documentation. That's an opinion. Could happen. Robert Masonette, Jacksonville, Florida. I am a minority and haven't seen in my lifetime, and I am 65, that I have fewer rights than a white man. I've had the same opportunities. I didn't let my father's experience with racism keep me from those opportunities. Well, I am very glad, Robert, that you wrote, okay? And I'm very glad that you have had the opportunities. Dave Yoshida, Rancho Cucamonga, California. My father was in an internment camp during World War II. As a child, I was curious what life was like in those camps, so I asked him. His response was, it happened a long time ago, forget about it. More people looked internally rather than externally to resolve racial issues, there would be far fewer problems. What a good letter that is, Dave. And I hope you have had opportunities in this country like Robert has had. Kathy, concierge member. Kathy has a direct line to me, an insurance policy for your life. Check it out on BillO'Reilly.com, premium and concierge membership. Bill, I believe it would be justice if lawyers bring frivolous lawsuits into the court if they had to pay the costs of the court. I don't believe taxpayers should foot that bill. That's what they do in Great Britain. That's what they should do here. Judge has the power, if the lawsuit is frivolous, to bill the plaintiff for all the costs and the lawyer. Jillian, concierge member, and so it begins. Of course, we all knew the goal of illegal immigration was for Democrats to get new voters. They really aren't making any secret of it when they refuse to support a bill banning that in D.C. Absolutely right, Jillian. Right, 100%. That is what the open border is all about. Nancy Brenflick, Prescott, Arizona. Bill, I saw your update on Holly. In my daily prayer for God's blessings, including good health for you and your family, I specifically include the Corgi Holly. How nice. Holly doing all right? We got St. Francis, named it, the Pope took his name. We're praying to him for Holly because St. Francis was the animal guy. Okay, I'd like to go to the BillO'Reilly.com store and get great gifts for dad and granddad at Father's Day coming up fast. Not Woke Mug and the United States of Trump together. $35. This is a great, great deal. If he's a Trump fan, but even if he isn't, you'll learn about the president. It's not a cupcake book. We got a leather-bound limited edition of Killing Patton. Fabulous gift for dad or granddad. Then we have the mugs. Not Woke, as we just mentioned, and Self-Reliance. Together, you can buy them both. Separately, whatever you want. Not Woke is our most popular mug ever in the history of the No Spin News. And then we have the book bundle, The Killing Books, just past 19 million. The Witches, Legends, Killers, Mob, Crazy Horse, 33% off. Fabulous for dad. Okay? Again, Confronting the Presidents comes out September 10th. Order in advance. You get it free if you sign up for Premium or Concierge member. Word of the day, do not be baneful, B-A-N-E-F-U-L. Final thought about me going to Washington in a moment, I should say. By now you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. As another critical election nears, America is gripped by anxiety. Recent studies show that 56% are feeling dread about the upcoming presidential vote in November. That's why I stand with AMAC. It's more than a senior discount organization. AMAC fights for common sense and a return to traditional American values. Visit amac.us/O'Reilly to grab an exclusive election year special, a 4-year AMAC membership for just $30. Members get access to money-saving benefits, the AMAC magazine, free Social Security and Medicare advice, a trusted voice in Washington, and a community of like-minded patriots. Take advantage of this election year special. 4 years for just $30. Be a part of the solution. By joining AMAC, you strengthen a movement dedicated to preserving our cherished principles. Please join now at amac.us/O'Reilly. That's amac.us/O'Reilly. Okay, here's the final thought of the day. Going to D.C. tomorrow, so I won't be doing a show. I do have a very provocative column on Sunday. The name of the column is, Will the Real Extremist Please Stand Up? Remember that I've Got a Secret show? Again, I'm dating myself. You're going to want to read this column. But tomorrow, I'm going to be in the nation's capital, the District of Columbia. Not a big fan of that town. I have to be honest about it, but I have business there I have to do, and it will be done. Can't drive because you can't get out of New York City. Can't fly because if there's a thunderstorm anywhere within 300 miles, you're not going to get on. So I'm taking the train. Amtrak. Joe Biden's Amtrak. And I will report on Monday what happens to me in D.C. It's an interesting place. I know it, but I'd much rather go to Boston. I don't know. Okay, thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News, and we'll see you on Monday. We'll see you Tuesday. Tuesday is when we're going to be back. Wow, what a long weekend. Have a great Memorial Day. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.